Welcome to the circus. Like, share, comment, subscribe.
This is another update on the Patton's Pickup, my under 1000 group build. At first glance, it may not look like I've done anything with this, but actually, I made a significant change to it as far as I'm concerned. And that is, I changed the wheelbase of the vehicle. I basically cut out about 3/4 inches of the frame, if you can see right here, where it's been rebraced and everything. I had to shorten the frame up. When I was looking at the stance of the vehicle and how the truck bed was ending, like right about there, and you had that all back there kind of hanging off the back with the tracks, it just did not look right. And what's more is the long wheelbase looked like it would have been problematic in real life. It was just too far apart. So I ended up cutting about 3/4 of an inch out of the frame, which also meant I had to do a little more cutting on this portion. I ended up cutting this all the way flush to the cab itself now. And I had to do that in order for it to get the right stance. And what I'm going to also have to do now is adjust a little bit of the truck bed, because now it's going to sit higher on the frame because of the hump here, the hump that's right here. This hump and everything was taken care of before, but now because of everything that I've done, the bed is going to be raised about 1/4 of an inch, which is not too much of a problem. And what I'm also going to have to do is build a new back bumper, which I had been planning on doing anyway, because I want to get the proper trailer hook on the back and everything else. So it's going to end up having a back bumper that looks more like what you find on the Jeep and the 3/4 ton trucks and everything like that. Also, while I was working on it, I went ahead and assembled the straight six Chevy engine that came with the vehicle. Did it in Panzer gray. Said to use a dark gray, which makes sense because at the time Chevrolet engines were being made and were being painted in dark gray. It would be sometime in the 50s that they switched over to a blue engine block. I went ahead and painted the oil pan in a flat aluminum. This was all black, and then I just hit it with some chrome silver. Dry brushed it with chrome silver. I got to do another wash and some dry brushing with black on the transmission still. Otherwise, the engine was painted pretty much stock out of the box. And I decided to go with the dual carb setup on the vehicle. Not that would be something that you would have seen in World War II, but you got to remember this is also a kind of the rival for the Rommel's rod, and so it's like I was thinking, what would Tom Daniel do? And I wanted to keep with the straight six engine, but if this were Tom Daniel, my thought is, yeah, he would put the dual carbs in there. More power and everything else. But the engine actually goes together pretty well. Still got to put the fan on. I'm using a Molotov pen to make the fan a chrome silver, so that'll be in chrome also. I am leaving some chrome on the vehicle because, well, Rommel's rod, it has a chrome front too, so this is going to get the chrome grill and so on and so forth. You can see where the cut was. I've got to still paint around all that. But I got the bottom of it that was flat black, and then I dry brushed it with chrome silver, some heavy dry brushing in some places and such. The tracks themselves, they have to be flat black because these are actual rubber tracks. The real ones would have been a rubber track, I believe, so they have to remain just black, like the tires will be black. But all in all, I think it is coming along pretty well. Other things that I've got set up, well, let's do some magic of editing here. Okay, so now this is the way the profile is sitting now. And notice where the back tracks are now, that they're basically centered on the bed of the truck. Remember before they were almost all the way at the back here. So they've been brought forward a good 3/4 of an inch, maybe even a full inch forward. And you see that the cab is still sitting nice and straight, or relatively straight. You will notice that there is a little bit of a break here between the cab and the pickup, and that is because of the way the back was cut. And this is how much of the side steps were removed so that the tracks would be able to fit in there. And everything is sitting nice and flat. Got the engine in there, just sitting in place right now. There we go. I might end up opening up one side of the hood, or I'll just remove the hood if I want to show the engine. But all in all, I think that is going to be a much better footprint for the vehicle than if it was all the way in the back. And now when I put the back bumper on, it'll be flush with the back of the truck bed, which will make it look a whole lot nicer too. And finally, what we have here is basically what will become the fenders for the tracks. This is just the mock-up, but it'll basically be something like this, and it will be squared off like so. It'll be the easiest way for me to do it. This will line up with the bottom of the step here, and so this will be above there, and it'll be attached to the side of the pickup body, the truck bed body. And what I'll do is I will cover this up and this up, and then that will be like storage compartments, and this will be places where tools and stuff can be stored, where backlights can be attached for the back of the vehicle, and maybe some mud flaps will be added to it. So that will be on the side there. A little bit boxy, but it should work out pretty well. I'm not sure if that's how thick it's going to be, but probably that wide. So it'll be a little bit wider than the tracks. And if you can see up here, it will also be a little bit wider than the front by about 1/4 of an inch or so. But that's what I'm going for. And I think that will look pretty good. And the truck bed is a little bit higher than the fenders, and then there's also going to be something in the truck bed that will almost be as high as the back of the cab. But with that in place, like so, I think that'll work out pretty well. In any case, that's where we're sitting at right now. We'll see if these are the kind of fenders I end up going with in the end, or if it'll be something a little bit different. But I am very much happy with the way the footprint will be now, the wheelbase between the tracks and the front tire. The other one, it just looked too long. It just looked way too long. It did not look like it would have been nearly as feasible as it looks now. So I'm definitely glad that I cut the frame back, but it did put me back about a week. So let's see how it goes from here.
Thank you for visiting Toby's Glue Bomber Circus. If you liked what you saw, please consider giving it a thumbs up, sharing it with your friends, leaving a comment, and subscribe and ring that notification bell. Really do appreciate it. Thanks again.